on this episode of According to Him and Her.
Should sex be expected after splurging?
If I spend $50 on you, we getting it in.
Rule 688. If your partner whispers, I love you, for the first time during sex, return the gesture whether you mean it or not.
In the heightened intensity, I might be like, I love you! But it's not to him, it's towards the action.
It's okay to use a Groupon on the first date.
You can't go out with me and pull out no Groupon. That is rude. That's like me wearing a wig and I let you see the comb sticking out of my head. I'm not gonna do that.
All this and more on this week's According to Him and Her.
Hey, I'm Finesse Mitchell.
And I'm Claudia Jordan, and welcome to According to Him and Her.
This is the show where you'll hear provocative commentary that gives you some interesting insight about the countless ways men and women think.
Which tends to be very different.
Yeah, because you know, men are always right, and women are always a thorn in our side because they don't never let us be right when we know we right, and then we got to pretend like we wrong just so we can get some.
You sound guilty.
Hey, I'm married, so I know what I'm talking about. But, you know, men are from Mars and
Women are the normal ones.
You think that's what they say?
Yeah, that's what I say.
That ain't what they say. Anyway, that's yet to be determined. But this is how this show works. We present the rules and the questions pertaining to relationships of matters of the heart. Now, our talented hosts and personalities will weigh in with their opinions, which are oftentimes very opinionated, so to speak.
And at the end of each topic, Dr. Michelle and Dr. Jeff Gardier share their thoughts on the subject from a professional perspective. On subjects such as, okay, here's a good one.
Rule 24. Business drinks with the opposite sex after work is a date.
Whenever you have drinks with one of your compadres of the opposite sex, in my preference, it's always a date. It's always open ground for you to establish some new rules. That means the rules of possibly getting in them draws.
It depends on what they look like. If they cute, it's a date. If they not, I'm just getting free drinks.
See, that's the problem with women. Every time you get with them, you in the same room, they think it's a date. You bump into them in the break room. Oh, girl, we was on. No, we wasn't. We was in the break room.
So if your boss looked like Idris Elba, right? And he says, hey, Nika, why don't we go grab some drinks after work? You might have to say yes.
Once we're getting closer, leaning in heavier, you know what I mean? This is a relationship. I don't know if you know it. Another sex on the beach for you and a double of Jameson for me. We're going. We're involved.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect situation to slip him a little something in his little martini or whatever he drinking. I'm not saying like roofie him. I'm just saying put a little extra spice in there and get him where you need him to be.
Okay, Hadia, I see. See, this is what I'm talking about, that double standard. Now, Hadia, is it cool for your man to go on a business drink situation with his female coworker?
No.
Oh yeah, I'll be right there with him. How you doing, girl? What y'all do? What y'all work together? What y'all be doing? You ain't going out with my man by yourself, honey. Don't ever let no man take your woman out and have drinks. You know where drinks lead. Blame it on the alcohol.
Is it okay for my woman to do it? Absolutely. If she wants to move up, she knows she gotta do what she gotta do. Now, whatever you do when you on the clock, it's considered work behavior. Anything that you do overtime, I'm gonna need my percentage. It's pimping, double pimping this time.
Let me backtrack. If this lady is an executive, she got a lot of money, maybe she got a little bit of low self-esteem, and she could possibly put my man in a better position, I am willing to work with him in this situation. Hey, I'm gonna unbutton this shirt a little bit, show a little bit of that man cleavage, a little bit of talk on me. Hey, that's gonna put some more coins in my purse? Yes, baby, going out there. Gotta give him that little go team smack on the ass. Yeah, get on out there, boy. Get my money.
She needs to show a little baby thigh. Just let him know she's like, I'm not a hoe, but I could be.
Early in our relationship, my husband was uncomfortable about me going out to network with people of the opposite sex because in his mind, if he ever saw me, it was to date me. So if anybody else sees me, it's to date me. He can't understand why anybody wouldn't want this, and frankly, neither can I.
No. The Boris Kojo looking dude that she work with. Let me tell you something. I don't have no muscles. So if she out with somebody with muscles, what do you think that's gonna lead to? She gonna wanna see the muscles because she don't see them at home because I ain't got none. You understand what I'm saying? So she needs to come on home and do the things she need to do after work.
That's right, Brian. That's what I'm talking about.
Really? So
Absolutely.
what are the things that we need to be doing?
Cooking, cleaning, stuff of that nature.
That's what we supposed to do.
I'm just joking.
You can't cook and clean for
I'm
yourself?
joking.
No.
Sex, cooking, and cleaning.
You're not joking, and that's just your opinion. Here's the opinion of our experts, Dr. Michelle and Dr. Jeff Gardier.
Would I trust my partner, whomever I'm going out with, to go ahead and have drinks, business with someone? Absolutely, because I truly believe you have to be responsible for your own behavior. Focus on that and don't worry about what the other person is doing.
I mean, ideally, you never want your partner out with someone of the opposite sex, particularly if they're attractive, but that's just how business gets done. And if you're going to be in a relationship, particularly a long-term one, you have to learn to trust your partner.
Well, I guess trust trumps all.
But speaking of dating, let's talk about first dates. They're kind of like interviews. First impressions are everything.
Absolutely, and if you want to get the job, you better come correct.
Okay, now let's define coming correct. Because I've had friends who've gotten creative on their first dates by infusing their personalities in their approach.
Meaning?
Well, for instance, some of my friends are financially, fiscally conservative and have used Groupons to subsidize their first dates.
Rule 109, it's okay to use a Groupon on the first date.
A Groupon, so you ain't even gonna try, basically. See, a Groupon is something that you use once you're together and we're working together for the abundance of our future, maybe retirement, but we are planning on being together. So we're saving together. But if this is like a first date situation and you use a Groupon, basically what you're saying is you want to save money on me so you could spend your real money on the girl that you really like.
Absolutely, it is okay to use a Groupon on the first date. If you don't have one, I feel like you're not resourceful enough. How are we gonna make it as a team if you just blowing money all over the place? You need to be right. You need to have your budget together so that I know that we can spend things on the things that are important is where your money should go, i.e. shoes.
It's okay to use them, as long as she don't see it. I use them all the time.
I need you to go to the bathroom, go talk to the manager, you handle all that.
Hey, player, don't come over to the table asking me nothing about this little Groupon. I'm gonna pay mine right now. Because see, when women know that you cheat, see, women don't like frugal. Even though they don't have it, they want you to have what they don't have.
A Groupon. You know what? Go ahead and use your Groupon as long as you don't mind me grouping on some other things that I may need that ain't covered in your voucher. I can't be limited when I eat.
Well, if the girl thinks a Groupon is cheap to me, I'm going to examine what she's wearing. And 9 times out of 10, it's some rainbow outfits, some $10 stretch pants, and some Baker boots. And listen, you can't judge me for using a Groupon when you got on a $16 outfit, all right? If I'm saving $20, I can buy you 2 more outfits with what you got on. That's all I'm trying to say.
If someone uses a Groupon on that first date, it's only going to increasingly get worse. All right? Matter of fact, if you let somebody use a Groupon on that first date, the second and third date, your ass is paying.
Exactly, Rob. Thank goodness some men, not this one, still have some good sense.
Okay, let's see how our experts feel about the impression that Groupons make on the first date.
So I do think it's important to put your best foot forward, and unfortunately, people may judge the fact that you're using a Groupon on their first date. They want to feel like you're willing to go the extra distance and just, pay what it costs, and maybe you bring the Groupon later on.
It is about putting the best foot forward, so no Groupons, and whatever you do, no food stamps. Not a good idea.
Well, if I can't use my Groupon, then I'm gonna need to limit the dinner budget. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that limited budget better be generous if you want another date. And that's all I'm gonna say for now.
Well, stay tuned, because coming up next,
should sex be expected after splurging?
And when saying I love you could possibly go wrong.
Now, you've heard our opinions. Later, our correspondent, Jeff J., hits the streets of Times Square to hear it straight from the people.
All this and more up next. Welcome back to According to Him and Her, the place where love, life, and laughter collide in a spirited conversation about matters of the heart.
So, where were we?
That's right, Rule 109. It's okay to use a Groupon on the first date.
All you need to recall is the word generous and leave your Groupon at the crib.
Who said generous? I didn't say nothing about generous. You heard generous?
I said generous.
Well, if the Groupon stays home and the brother decides to go all out, you know there could be some expectations behind that. Rule 20, a $50 dinner equals sex.
I would like Rule 20 taken completely out of the rule book. That is rude and disrespectful. Who is popping off for $50?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. If a man take the time to leave his wife or girlfriend to take you to dinner, the least you could do is give him some of them Fruit Loops. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, first of all, if you spending $50 on a dinner, that must mean you're out with an escort.
A $50 dinner is definitely sex, because sex don't cost more than $30 on Backpage.
Show me a hooker on the street that will sell you sex for $50 and I will show you a crackhead.
I mostly meet classic. Okay, I know y'all looking at me like, what is classic? It's a mixture of classy and ratchet, okay? That's what it's a mixture of. They may have a Michael Kors watch, but on their nails ain't done. They may have a Louis Vuitton purse, but it's an expired debit card inside and a rush card that got money on it. It's ratchet, but it's classy, okay? They may have a nice weave, but messed up toes. There's always something wrong. It's classic.
This is not $50 cooch. That's not what this is.
If I spend $50 on you, we getting it in. Tell you that right now.
Now, is this 50 like together? Like he only spent 25 and his meal was 20, and your meal was only $25? Or is, wow, so $25 you gotta pop off?
I took a chick to this little restaurant not too long ago, the steak place, STK. So this wasn't no Groupon date on this one. I tried to get it popping. You wanna know what happened? It didn't pop. I wanted to do the Hamlet maneuver on her and pop that steak right up out of her. I wanted to pop that steak right up out of her. I wanted, boy. I was so upset I deleted her off of Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
That said, is there any amount of money spent or kind of gift that should be allowed for expectations to happen?
What exactly did you get me? For instance, if you know I like basketball and you spend $1,000 on a good seat at a Knicks game, we're good money. But I don't think that you spent that. You just wanted us to have good seats. You weren't expecting booty, were you?
If we're going into my rent money, listen, lady, this could be the last time I'm gonna have access to this bed in this house because there's gonna be an eviction notice, so something's gotta happen.
I am a woman. I am a lady. I am not a call girl, okay? But if he pay off my student loans, we may have to talk.
First of all, I already know before I came out on a date with him, I'm gonna give you something that. How much you spend is inconsequential.
We can go to Taco Bell, we can go to Crustaceans. If I have decided that we were gonna get some, it's popping off, whether we in the drive-thru or not.
See, we always end up spending regardless, Claudia.
Anyways, let's leave this up to our experts.
I don't care how much money you spend, it should not equate to sex. It shouldn't be, I spent $50 on you and I want to get $50 worth of some fun in the bed. No, 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 no. Spend the money, do it altruistically, and eventually, if it's meant to be, it will happen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Jeff Gardier and Dr. Michelle.
Stay tuned because coming up,
When saying I love you really means I love you.
and Jeff Day, our correspondent, will check in with the people to see how they feel.
All this and more when we return.
And now, according to him and hers perfect mix of the day, featuring mixologist Sean Martin.
Hey, what's up? I'm Sean Martin, the resident mixologist for According to Him and Her, with today's signature cocktail called the Clatchet, as coined by Rip Michaels.
It's a mixture of classy and ratchet.
So what you want to do is start out with your classy, as most nights begin, and that's your champagne. Then you want to add your yak, which serves as your ratchet. We get a couple splashes of pineapple juice with a couple splashes of grenadine. Next, you want to pour your ratchet over your classy. A little soft because it's a little bubbly. Finish that off with a cherry. This is what you call the Clatchet. If you want to keep it ratchet for the night, go with this class. But if you want to get it classy, the champagne flute will do. And that's what's good.
Welcome back to According to Him and Her. The Clatchet, huh? Had to order me one.
I see. You had to order you 3. That's your third one.
Why are you all up in mine counting my drinks?
Why are you drinking when we're trying to work?
Why are you drinking when we trying to work?
This is cranberry juice.
It's not cranberry
I got a
juice.
bad prostate. The doctor told me to drink this.
Oh, boy, please. In case you're just joining us, here's a recap of today's topics and opinions.
First of all, I already know before I came out on a date with, I'm gonna give you some or not. How much you spend is inconsequential.
If someone uses a Groupon on that first date, it's only going to increasingly get worse. All right? Matter of fact, if you let somebody use a Groupon on that first date, the second and third date, your ass is paying.
Now, if my man tells me he's going to get business drinks with somebody of the opposite sex at his office, no. Then we going to get business drinks.
That was a look at today's conversations.
Now it's time to check in with our correspondent, Jeff J, for our social media submission of the day.
What up, Jeff?
What's good, everybody? This is Jeff J with today's social media submission of the day. Now, today this comes from our Facebook friend, Trey Tucker. Trey submitted rule number 688. If your partner whispers I love you for the first time during sex, you return the gesture no matter what.
That's kind of like, oh, we're just having sex, let me tell you I love you. No.
I mean, you're already there, so you really have, you know, like, if you don't feel that way, you know, there's all kinds of options or ways that you can, like, you know, change the subject.
A girl's not gonna say I love you while they're having sex. They can't just be quiet, because she's gonna be like, hello, did you hear what I said?
I wouldn't say I love you. Like, if I don't feel it, I'm not gonna say it.
So you just keep going and act like you didn't hear him.
Definitely.
Hello? Yes? You don't want to get stopped in the middle of the race. Hello? You know, like, nobody wants a butt-naked me in the middle of sex. Lights on. My body's horrible under these clothes. I look like Alf.
In that case, it's a momentary utterance, and in that, I use my stock answer. I love you too, boo.
That is the one thing you do not do. I don't care how good it is. I don't care if it's so good your feet come together and they clap at the bottom. Don't you ever do that. You hear me? Because a woman will take that literally. And getting rid of a crazy woman is hard to do. They will show up in the church parking lot. Trust me, believing it has happened to me. I had a girl push my daughter down the steps. You understand me? Don't you ever say it unless you mean it. Because women will take that to the grave.
If you whisper you love me, especially during a climactic moment, I'm going to hold you to that. So you better mean it. Like, I'm gonna hold it to you. Like a thin line between love and hate kind of way. You saw that movie, right? Like, Lynn Whitfield was not playing. Watch what you say.
I will lie. You understand what I'm saying? I will lie. I don't lie for, like, I ain't just no crazy lie. I lie to get what I want. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't just like I'm just out here lying. I lie for good reason. You know what I mean? So if she fine, and I feel like, oh, if I don't tell her I love her, she not gonna, you know, give me none of them Fruit Loops no more, then yeah, I tell a little white lie.
If you do not mean it, don't say it. Our emotions are running. You're gonna have somebody slashing your tires and boiling your bunnies. You don't wanna do that to yourself.
When I tell a woman that I love her, I really mean it. I don't play around with love. That love word can get you killed. I ain't seen it happen. Or if it don't get you killed and get your car scratched up. And I ain't through paying for that car to get it scratched up. I'll tell you that right now. Let alone got insurance on it. So I ain't gonna play with that.
In the heightened intensity, I might be like, I love you! But it's not to him, it's towards the action. I love the action.
Thanks to Trey Tucker for your submission on Facebook. Back to you guys.
Remember, if you want to keep the conversation going, be sure to friend us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Submit your rule or questions, and we may just present it on the show.
Now, I'd like to thank Dr. Jeff Gardier and Dr. Michelle for all of today's advice and personal perspective.
And thanks to our entire cast for weighing in on today's provocative conversation. And thank you, our audience.
We hope that you gained the first bit of insight into what men and women are thinking.
I'm Finesse Mitchell.
And I'm Claudia Jordan, and this is According to Him and Her.